Parshas Naso-Shavuos. Want to welcome everybody to our new temporary home. I feel so welcome here. All the wonderful administrators and volunteers of Bika Cholim of Lakewood invited us to continue the SSSS Shiur and now the South Side Shiur in Exile. To continue it here at Bika Cholim headquarters every Thursday night. You won't get to see most of this beautiful, beautiful new building in the video here, but suffice it to say that the Bika Cholim people did an unbelievable job in building a building that is not just beautiful, the Gashmias and Baruchnias, but it's a tremendous Kiddush Hashem, and the dedication of the volunteers and those that work for Bika Cholim is something really, really to be admired, and something which I'm getting to see firsthand whenever I walk into this building, and it's very much appreciated by the community. So we thank you for inviting the Shiur here, and let's hope until the South Side finds himself a new home, and we're hoping it will come one day, that we will say many good Shiurim here. This week's Parsha, now we're actually a couple of days before Shavuos. Tonight is Rosh Chodesh Sivan. We're just a few days away from being Zoichet to Kabbalas HaTorah. The Parsha in Parshas Naso says, we speak about the inyan of Birchas Kahanim. Daber el Aroin be'el bonav leimor, koi sevarchu es b'nei Yisrael amor lahem. Speak to Aaron and his children, and tell Aaron and his children, koi sevarchu es b'nei Yisrael. This is how you should bless the members of Klal Yisrael. Amor lahem. And we all know, Yivarechecha Hashem v'yishmerecha, Yo'er Hashem panov elecha v'chuneka, Yisah Hashem panov elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. These three psukim, this is how the Kohanim bless Klal Yisrael. Nesivos Shalom says, first of all, in general, we need to understand this inyan of what bracha is. What is bracha? It is very possible, imagine, that the person who's receiving the bracha, he actually may not deserve anything. When we say we're giving someone a bracha, does it mean that the person actually deserves it? No, you go to a bracha, let's say you go to a rebbe for a bracha. Is every person that goes and asks for a bracha very deserving of the bracha? Not always, right? So it seems to be that bracha is something that a person can get even if they don't deserve it. That a person could receive what you ask for, you can receive what you're getting as a blessing, as a bracha, even if you don't deserve it. Secondly, what is the meaning of the part of the bracha in Birchas Kahanim? You ever wonder about this? The bracha says, Asher kiddushanu b'mitzvot, Asher kiddushanu b'kdushasoi shel ha'aron. Right? HaKadosh Baruch Hu was mikadesh us, Bikdushasoi shel ha'aron. What do these words, Bikdushasoi shel ha'aron, mean, and what do they come to symbolize? What do they teach us? We don't seem to add this, Bikdushasoi, of anything in any other bracha. We say Asher Kiddushanu, and then B'mitzvayso. What's Bikdushasoi shel ha'aron? Why is it special here by Birchas Kahanim? So too, what about the end of the bracha? The end of the bracha says, Be'ahava. With love. The bracha has to be with love. What does that tell us? Why is Birchas Kahanim special that it has to be ba'ava? Why did we institute this, ba'ava, as part of the bracha? Okay, if you want to tell me that Birchas Kahanim has to be done with ava, fine. So you tell me a special halacha that has to be done that way. But the fact that the Chachamim instituted as part of the bracha, ba'ava, we don't see that anywhere else, that it's instituted as part of the bracha, that means it's something very, very special about Birchas Kahanim. The explanation to all of this, says in Nesivos Shalom, is a little bit on the deep side, but it's a great insight from Nesivos Shalom nonetheless, and if you concentrate a little bit, you're going to learn something really, really beautiful. Nesivos Shalom says like this, HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the entire world, where the world works with a mashpia and a makabel. There's mashpia, there's something that gives, And then there's a makabel, something which is taking, a give and take, so to speak. The beautiful growth of plants and fruit, again, is set up this way that HaKadosh Baruch Hu set it up. The hashpah, the mashpia, the sun, the rain, the hashpah of the sun and the rain, is then received by the earth, which produces beautiful growth. Again, this inyan of mashpia and makabel. What makes the connection? It's brought down in Kabbalah, and Nesivos Shalom talks about it. What makes this connection between any mashpia and the makabel? That is the koyach of ava. Ava is what brings the mashpia to the makabel and produces something very, very good, very special. Sai by gashmias and sai by ruchnias. The entire inyan of bracha, like we mentioned, the entire inyan of bracha is something which is l'mala miderech hateva. We ask Hashem, Yivarecha Hashem v'yishmerecha. We're asking for a bracha to watch over us, even we might not even deserve it. We're asking for something which is l'mala miderech hateva. We're asking HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be mashpia on us, something which is extra. And how does that happen, says in Nesivos Shalom? HaKadosh Baruch Hu pulls that off for us. How? With ahava. Love is what brings it to a higher level, and it brings it together that now that we could be makabel the bracha. We see by the brachas of Avraham Avinu, the brachas of Avraham Avinu to Yitzchak, and the brachas of Yitzchak Avinu to Yaakov Avinu, and Yaakov Avinu to the Shvatim. How did they work? They work that way. Why? You see, Yitzchak Avinu, you see in the Torah, Yitzchak, before he was going to give the brachas, he said, "V'asei li matana." Make me something. Make something for your father. Make something good for me. Why? So I should feel hakaras hatoiv. I should feel love. I should feel Abba. First do that. Yitzchak Avinu said. Then he said, Gishono shekoli b'ni. Then come to me, and then we could deal with the brachas. But first, let's bring some Ava into the equation. That there should be Ava between the one giving and the one receiving. It's the Ava that connects them. In Klal Yisrael, HaKadosh Baruch Hu made Aaron HaKoyin the Mashpia. Why was Aaron HaKoyin chosen to be the Mashpia? Aaron HaKoyin is the one who gives the brachas, because Aaron HaKoyin was Oyev Shalom, V'royev Shalom, Oyev Esabrias, and then Umakarvan HaTorah. Aaron represented Ava and more Ava and more Ava. The Kedusha of Aaron, where did it come from? The Kedusha of Aaron came from just that. The Midas Ahava that Aaron HaKoyin had, that is what connected Aaron HaKoyin to others. So we therefore say in the bracha, Asher Kedishanu B'Kedushasoi Shel Aaron. Why do we say it? Because that's the essence of the whole bracha. The Kedusha of Aaron, that Aaron represented ahava and more love between every member of Klal Yisrael. B'Kedushasei Shel Aaron, so it's not something extra in the bracha. B'Kedushasei Shel Aaron, what was Kaddish about Aaron? The Ava, that is the koyach of the entire bracha. Because of that Ava, Aaron HaKoyin had the koyach to be mashpia. And that too says in the Nesivos Shalom, that's why we end off the bracha of Be'ava. That we were commanded, the Kohanim were commanded to do the bracha, to give a bracha to Klal Yisrael with ahava. And not just the halacha that has to be done by ahava, but ahava is put into the bracha because it's the entire yesod of the bracha. The entire Birchas Kohanim comes from ahava. The ahava between the Kohanim and those that are being blessed. And that is what brings down the Shefa. So Nesivos Shalom actually, he goes through each and every one of the psukim, Yivarecha, Yoer, Yisa, he goes to each one of the psukim and the brachas and explains how they apply and they connect with Ava to the Ruchnias. And we don't have time right now to go through the entire thing, but just a word I would like to mention. Nesivos Shalom says a beautiful thing about Shalom. We discuss so much about Ava now, and how the bracha is totally in Ava, and how any time you want to be mashpia a bracha, person comes Friday night, you want to give a bracha to your children. It's one of the reasons we give a bracha on Friday night. You're not on your cell phone. You're not busy. You're not distracted. And it's at that point where you look around your table on Friday night, you see your children, you see how much HaKadosh Baruch Hu has given you, you see how wonderful your children are. It's dafka that moment that we choose to give a bracha between the mashpia and the makabel of the children, because the ahava is so great then. Ahava, Shalom in general is Ahava. Right? Shalom is Ahava, is the Ahava that opens up the doors of brachas. And Ahava and Shalom amongst the members of Klal Yisrael, says in Nesivos Shalom, but we have the pasuk, the Ahavta L'Reacha Kamoicha. It's a Klal Godol B'Torah. Why? Because that's a step to bracha. Tzaddikim tell us that the way to Avos Hashem, you want to love Hashem, the way to Avos Hashem is through Avos Yisrael. A person can't wake up one day and say, V'ahavta Hashem L'Kecha, all of a sudden he knows how to love. He knows how to love Klal Yisrael. No, a person has to practice. Avos Hashem comes through Ahava for other Yidden. Ahavas Yisrael. We mentioned a few items that if a person is Makabel, right? If a person is Makabel with Ahava, we mentioned it, I think the last time, it might have been Rosh Hashanah, we were speaking. If a person is Makabel, everything that HaKadosh Baruch Hu sends his way Ba'ava, the Midah Keneged Midah, HaKadosh Baruch Hu looks at you sometimes and says, okay, listen, not everybody's perfect. Avada, we know HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not a vatron, he doesn't look away, but everything is with a cheshbon. Nesivos Shalom says, if you're Makabel with Ahava, what HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives you, so HaKadosh Baruch Hu is Makabel you with Ahava. It's a two-way street. It opens up all the doors for L'mayla Miderech HaTeva. Normally, if a person does something wrong, HaKadosh Baruch Hu should come to him and say, okay, time to pay up. But no, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, he loves Klal Yisrael. And if you accept HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, you know what, I'm going to accept you too. And it's a perfect way to come in, I think. The Yontiv of Shavuos is just a few days away. And with this lesson that we just learned about Ahava amongst Chaverim, and Ahava in order to be Makabel the bracha, any brachas that you want, we have an added reason and an urgency to work on Ahava and Shalom, because we want to be Makabel the Torah in a few days. How was Klal Yisrael Makabel the Torah? The pasuk that we're going to learn on the first morning or the first night of Shavuos, however you look at it. Some people are awake, some people are not awake. But if you have never been awake in your life for the Kriyas of Torah, maybe it's kedai to listen. Vayichan Sham Yisrael neged ahar k'ish echad b'leiv echad. That's how we could be Makabel the Torah. The biggest gift of all time. We want to be Makabel the Torah. That comes with the Ahava. Let's learn the lessons of this week's Parsha, the lessons of the Kahanim, the lessons of Aaron HaKohen, and start treating our friends with more Ahava, with more kavod. That'll bring us to Avos Hashem, and then Kabbalas HaTorah.